Welcome back to Broken Dolly TV. I'm Gypsy, and today we're going to style Teresa, my character for our Barbie household that we're building up. I'm using the sim of Becca Hatch to be her base sim because I like the face sculpt. It reminds me a little bit of the older Teresa dolls, like the original Teresa dolls. And I want this character to be like a fusion, looks wise, between all the different kinds of Teresas that we've seen renditions of over the past, whether it's the dolls or the animated series. I'm going in, I'm changing her eye color a little bit because I think a different eye color would be more suitable for her, kind of like a greenish tone. I think the person who did her face sculpt did a really good job. It's very minimal tweaking that I end up having to even do to this face, a little bit with the nose and the lips, just adjusting the size and the shape a little, but almost no changes compared to how she started off, so she still looks pretty much the same when I'm done. Don't feel bad about going on the gallery and taking characters or lots that you see there and tweaking them to your liking, as long as you don't re-upload them to the gallery as your own work. Don't worry about adding them to your save files. It's not a big deal, guys. The gallery is there for people to do exactly that. I have no qualms about doing so. I have so many sims and so many lots that I have to tweak and create and place in order for this save file to be completed that I don't have time to be making everything from scratch. It doesn't make any sense. And also, you can't really make a sim from scratch anyways, because when you load up the game, it always gives you a starter sim and you can use presets of faces in order to like have something to build off of. So any way you look at it, you're still starting off with somebody else's creation that you may or may not end up wanting to tweak further in order to end up with the sim that you end up playing with. So it is what it is. It's just like Barbie dolls, you know, like the Barbie comes to you with an already established sculpt and almost always with paint on the face. So you have to tweak the doll's face to your liking if you don't want to keep her looking the way that she comes originally, which all of us doll collectors are familiar with customizing dolls, so we understand that process. It's no different here on The Sims because they're just virtual dolls. That's just how I look at it. So I'm just going through trying to see if there's any like makeup that I want to add to the face. I don't have a particular order that I build Sims. Sometimes I start with the face and then I work my way down to the rest of the body and the clothes. Sometimes I do the complete opposite. I'll do the body, I'll do the clothes first, and then I'll go back in and do the face, and then I'll add the hair last. And then sometimes I know exactly what hair I want to give to that character, so I'll start with that and then build around it. It really depends on the vibe of the character that I'm creating, how I end up doing it, like what order I tweak things in. If you're wondering about the CC that I have, I'll be showing you guys some of the CCs that I own and where I get them from in multiple videos in a series, so just look out for that. I'm going to be starting off with the hair collection because I have a lot of stuff in my CC folder, and if I show you guys everything all at once, the video will be like 3 hours long. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I don't have a attention span that will last me that long, so cannot do that. Here I'm just kind of like closing up her eyes a little bit because I want her eyes to be kind of sultry looking, kind of seductive looking, kind of mysterious. I wanted the irony of her just looking like someone who is very hard to approach because she's just so pretty, but then like once you get to know her, you're like, oh, she's goofy. She don't look the way that she acts, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I wanted to go for with how her face looked, so I closed the eyelids a little bit and then I made her pupils bigger because Barbie dolls tend to have huge eyes. I just thought it would be fitting for all of them to have really big eyes. This is going to be her everyday look. She's going to do the overalls with a light blue shirt, some boots, because she's going to be trekking around on her ranch where there's going to be lots of animals and horses, farmy things, and I think that it would make sense that she would try to like get in character and put on her overalls and really get into the farmer mode. After all, she's trying to impress Barbie because Teresa, if you guys didn't realize, Teresa is supposed to be Barbie's BFF, okay? The only issue here is that for Teresa, Barbie is really her BFF and she is like ride or die. She's ready to go hard. She's very supportive of Barbie, and that's why she agreed to come to this ranch and like start their little horse girl adventures over there with her because she believes in Barbie's vision. However, Barbie doesn't really consider Teresa her real BFF. She lets her keep the title because it works to her advantage for everyone to think that Teresa is her best friend. Teresa has the look. She's very pretty. She also has the personality. She's very easygoing. At least with Barbie anyways. Whatever Barbie wants her to do, Teresa's down for. Like, she just trusts Barbie so much, and she's like, yeah, you think we should ski off the top of this mountain? Let's do it. You think we should go bungee jumping out of this helicopter? Well, let's do it, girl. Barbie kind of needs Teresa because Teresa is her minion. Because Teresa is fly and she's like low-key like a pretty girl, and she's very like humble and laid back, the other girls are influenced by Teresa as well because they want to be like Teresa. They're like, oh yeah, she's so put together, Barbie loves her, and her life is so easygoing, and I want to be like Teresa. If she can get Teresa on board, it's like everyone else is gonna follow suit, so she needs Teresa to be her, kind of like her cheerleader. So here I'm just trying to figure out what kind of formal wear she should wear. I didn't want it to be too glamorous, but at the same time I felt like this is Barbie's BFF. Like, if they were gonna be having an occasion where she needs to be in formal wear, she's probably gonna be with Barbie, and I feel like Barbie would insist that she be dressed in a way that matches her because Barbie's going all out for her formal wear. I think for Barbie's character, she ends up wearing like a pink wedding dress. So that's the level of delusional Barbie is on, you feel me? So she can't have her best friend with her at this function dressed in like something that doesn't look like it matches. It has to look like they got it off the same rack, you feel me? I had to find something that was going to convey that in her look. It has to be something that Barbie would be like, oh yeah, this is cute, put this on. But at the same time, it's not going to outshine Barbie's ultimate look, like Barbie's dress. It can't be better than Barbie's dress. So she ends up going with this one in the blue color scheme. I'm trying to keep her in these like light blues because I think it suits her personality and her just overall look. The blues look good on her, and I wanted them to be soft blues because I don't want her character to have like a harshness to her look at all. She's like the soft, easygoing, relaxed, feminine friend. Barbie is the one that's like really bold and out there, and she's kind of bossy, but in a cute way. Teresa doesn't understand that Barbie's character is a little bit toxic because Barbie doesn't have bad intentions. I think most of her friends, even though they know she's very bossy and unreasonable, they're not like really like concerned to the point where they think that they're in any danger because they've grown up with Barbie and they are so used to her. You know, she's been like this since the 60s. Oh Lord. And the more feminist the world becomes, the more Barbie is out here with her outlandish ideas and adventures that she wants to embark upon to prove to everyone how independent she is and how much she don't need Ken. That's what her girlfriends are going to help her to do. She needs 3 other girls to help her to prove to everyone that she doesn't need this one man's help. I think she's going to pull it off because she's Barbie and we can do and be anything. For the party look, I'm going with this very simple and subtle dress. I don't think I've used this dress on any other Sims yet. I like it because it's covering most of her body, even though you can kind of peek at her arms a little bit. But I feel like this would be like something that she would pick for herself to wear to like a fancy occasion. She's a laid back girl. I don't think that Teresa feels the need to get really dressed up and glammed up. She's okay just being in like relaxed fit clothing, clothes that don't look like it's for any special occasion. She doesn't need to be noticed. She's very beautiful, so she doesn't have to do that much to get noticed anyway. She's just like ironically very laid back and not up her own behind when it comes to how she would be dressed and how she looks and things like that. Very minimal when it comes to the makeup and stuff like that. I did want to make sure to keep the blue color scheme going for her. And then this is for the winter clothes. We're just gonna go for the turtleneck with some wide leg jeans, and I'm trying to debate what color to make the top. I didn't see the exact shade of blue that I wanted to go for, so I end up changing the top to a white or like a creamy kind of a color, and then her pants that I settle on end up being light colored anyway, so that's the light blue right there that I'm totally fine with. And then lastly, we're gonna go in and do her hair. I feel like the hair is like sacred when it comes to Sims and even like Barbie dolls. The hair really makes your character memorable, I think. So I try to put some thought into the kind of hairstyles that I give to my Sims. To me, Sims are all wearing wigs. They don't really have hair. And so that's why at any given point they can just go and change it. The length will change, the color will change, and you can do whatever you want to the hair, and it just switches up for you easily because they're all wearing wigs. All Sims are bald in my mind, okay? There's no such thing as hair growing out of your head. If you can make it look like the hair is growing out of my head, well then I'll take it, you know? I don't need to make it obvious that I'm wearing a wig, right? I'm just trying to figure out like what kind of hair will look realistic on her. Now, I do want her to have some texture to her hair, and I think that's realistic. If Teresa is actually supposed to be a Latina girl, it's very common for Latina women to have curls or waves and texture in their hair, and it's not always bone straight. It's rare when you run into women of Hispanic descent that have bone straight hair. I wanted her to have some waves to her hair, but I didn't want it to be like a distracting amount of waves. I just wanted to be very like subtle and look like a natural wave that she just didn't blow out. She didn't bother straightening. It just dried after she got out of the shower the way that it looked. That maybe she would just, you know, add a little bit of like oil or something to her hair to just make it sleek and relaxed looking. So I'm looking for a hair that's going to convey that vibe for me, that's gonna go with the outfit choices that she has. There's just so many hairs to choose from, you guys. If you want to see my CC collection, where I get my stuff from, I do use a combination of multiple apps in order to manage all my CC. So this hair here looks like it's exactly what I'm looking for. I like the sleekness of how the hair looks. It's very neat. It's not in her face, which is something that is very important to me. For her formal look, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit, and this hair here to me looks like a variant of the initial hair that I chose for her that went behind her shoulders. This looks like that same hair, but like with the hair in front of her shoulders instead. It's the same length in the back. I'm gonna choose this one for her formal wear, just because I just can see like Barbie like sprucing her hair, touching it up and being like, ooh, it would look cute like this, girl, do your hair like this. But I don't see Teresa as one that's like wearing all these crazy updos and intricate styles and all these like, you know, barrettes and things in her hair. I just feel like she would be very, very low maintenance type of a girl. Just because she has a really cute face, you would just expect for her to be a lot more glammed up, a lot more high maintenance. But I just think it suits her to not be that way. In the house, I have the cupcake machine in there, and I'm actually putting that machine in the house for Teresa because it's gonna be her hobby, making cupcakes. And if you're familiar with Barbie lore, there's like a variant of Teresa's character that's supposed to be like obsessed with making cupcakes. So I thought that would be funny to bring that into the game and allow her to make cupcakes whenever she gets stressed out. She's stressed, but she's not gonna admit that she's stressed because that's just a no-no. Like in her mind, fundamentally, anything Barbie wants to do, it's just gotta be a brilliant idea. Like Barbie can do no wrong in Teresa's mind. So even if it's ridiculous stuff that Barbie wants to do, let's train this horse and then give it a unicorn makeover and then sell it. Teresa's gonna say, yeah, that sounds great. Let's dye the horse's hair pink. That doesn't sound weird at all. She's just gonna go along with it. But after doing that so many times in a row in a day, I mean, she's gonna be mentally exhausted because she has to keep up with all of Barbie's crazy demands. So when she is stressed, she won't know that she's stressed out. She'll just probably tell herself that she's just, you know, oh, I'm just a little tired. Like that's how she would probably look at her own feelings of stress. And to relieve herself of the stress, she's gonna be making cupcakes so that she can kind of just wind down and have her own time. Of course, she can't eat the cupcakes because if she gains even an ounce of weight, Barbie's gonna notice and she might shame her. She doesn't want to be criticized by Barbie because the criticism is for her own good, you know? So she doesn't want to draw attention to herself in a negative way from Barbie. So when she makes her cupcakes, naturally she's going to give them away to her girlfriends instead of eating them herself, except for when she's in private, of course, and nobody sees her eating them. I want to further develop these characters just to see where their stories go. I'm not sure yet if after this branch play, if we're going to move each girl out and like they're all gonna have their own separate lives and different stories going on. I haven't thought that far ahead, but we'll see where it goes with the ranch life. Who knows? Maybe they'll love it. Maybe they won't mind shoveling poop every single day. I feel like Teresa would want to stay behind with Barbie, even if the other girls had the option to move out and go do their own thing. I just don't see Teresa leaving Barbie's side because she's just been such a loyal follower for so many years. In a way, like Teresa kind of emotionally is dependent on Barbie for validation. Like she's like her emotional crutch kind of. Even though Barbie's a little bit toxic towards her, I don't see that Teresa would take it that way. I feel like she would be completely okay with whatever Barbie deems is fit for her to treat her like. She would just look at it like, she's only criticizing me because she loves me. She's only being so strict about my diet because she loves me. She everything is because she loves me. Like, that's just how I feel like she would look at it. I just see her being like very laid back and very optimistic and wanting to please Barbie at any cost. I want to see how she interacts with the other characters though, because as much as Teresa's character is being built up to be Barbie's yes man, Christy and Midge aren't necessarily like that. So how are they going to interact with Teresa is something that I'm very curious about. I'm making sure to give them all very distinct personalities, different personality traits, likes and dislikes, like the whole thing. Everything you can establish and cast has been done for them. They have to live in this house together. The ranch itself is monstrous. It's huge, but it's a weird setup. The house is not my build. I took one off of the gallery and then I ended up remodeling it. It's like, it's a lot of space, but it's very awkwardly placed space. You'll see the setup when I show you guys the tour of the actual house. It's pretty ridiculous the way that it's set up. I thought it would be fitting. I thought about redoing it or like using a different build as I was working on it, because when I downloaded it, it was completely empty and I had to fill it up literally from scratch with everything. But as I was working on it and trying to figure out how to fill the spaces up and like divide up the space, I just said to myself, this is realistically what I would assume like Barbie would pick as her dream ranch. Because if you look at Barbie dream houses, there's just the setup of the houses are really bizarre. They have like elevators and stairs and slides and pools, and it's like all very weird stuff that doesn't go together. Like there's a deck on the roof. Somehow you still make it work because it's a Barbie dream house and it's supposed to be ridiculous. It's supposed to not make any sense. Your imagination is supposed to do the work for you. Kind of lining up with that, I felt like that the ranch I end up using for them just has that vibe. Like, let me guess, Barbie picked this place, didn't she? Like, you can just tell that it's something that Barbie would go for and be like, no, we can do it. We can make it work, girls. And like, they put all the sweat, tears, and like work into trying to remodel the place so that it would be to Barbie's liking. And you'll see what I mean when you guys actually like look at the build itself. I haven't decided yet if I wanted to put the entire build video on here or if I want to just give you guys a tour of it, because it's so long, like legit like 5 hours long. And even if I speed the whole thing up, bro, like it's gonna be a lot of explaining to do. So I don't know yet exactly how I'm gonna structure that one. I might just do a walkthrough and just show you guys a real quick tour of the place. That might be easier. We're gonna make Teresa be a child of the ocean, which means she's going to have wishes where she wants to be near water every so often, and that might give us an excuse to travel to a beach area, because where they live on the ranch in Chestnut Ridge, there's no beaches. I thought that would be kind of fun to take them off of the ranch sometimes and go hang out at the beach. We're gonna make her also a party animal. I thought it would be funny to make her a foodie, where she's like secretly in love with food, but she has to kind of hide her food addiction from Barbie, because if she catches her eating too much, she might shame her for that. And I also wanted her to be a child of nature, just so that she will have an easier time on the ranch doing the ranch work. So if you guys enjoyed this little styling session with me, then go ahead and leave me a like. What do you think about the relationship between her and Barbie in my Dolly verse? I think Barbie is so much more fun to play when she is not the way that Mattel portrays Barbie. Mattel portrays Barbie to be like this cutesy, fun, sweet, nice, kind of oblivious kind of a person. But I feel like that's her cover story. Like that's her plausible deniability version of herself. Barbie would be like really self-absorbed, almost condescending towards people who are not as fashionable and pretty and superficial as she is, but not in a malicious way where she thinks that they're like beneath her. It's just almost like she pities them, like she feels bad for them, because she's like, wow, gosh, you're wearing that outside? Oh, you poor soul. If only you had a fashionable big sister like me that could have showed you the way. Like, that's kind of how she looks at herself. Really want to see what they get into trying to keep up this ranch with all these animals, and nobody knows what they're doing, but everyone has to listen to Barbie. I'll see you guys in the next one. My name is Gypsy. I hope you've subscribed to Broken Dolly TV. Until I see you next time, have a Dolly day.